Missouri senators voted earlier this week against amendments that would have allowed abortions in their state in the cases of rape and incest. They did not allow those exceptions to go through. So in a country where there's been this ongoing argument about how draconian these laws should be, and the people, when they're asked, have virtually always said, get off of our, I'm not gonna swear, but get out of our business, I will say. No, in Missouri, they think they've still got a lock on this thing. No exceptions effectively for cases of rape and incest. They ban all abortions. The only time that there is an exception is to save the life of a pregnant person. That is the sort of thing that you write on a piece of paper, a piece of legislation, and then good luck to you if you need to fit in that exception. We have already seen in states around this country how difficult it is, how much suffering, potentially life-changing suffering you will go through as you struggle to get a right-wing judge to allow you to fit under that narrowly tailored exception. But on top of the votes, I want to add a little bit of insult to injury, and we're going to focus here on Republican State Senator Rick Brattin. And so he said this in supporting not allowing those exceptions for rape and incest. If you want to go after the rapist, let's give him the death penalty. Again, remember, this guy's pro-life. Absolutely, let's do it, but not the innocent person caught in between that by God's grace may even be the greatest healing agent you need in which to recover from such an atrocity. The innocent person, to be clear in this, is not the person who was raped, not the kid who was raped by her dad. No, it's the unborn fetus who now, by the grace of God, because again, our laws are being written by religious radicals, is a healing agent for you. And he who doesn't have to go through with this, does not have to live a life that is changed irreparably as the result of decisions by people like him, is gonna tell you that following the worst thing that will ever happen to you in your life, hey, make some lemonade out of it and shut up. So we have more on this, Brett. What do you think?
There's so many lemons in life, man. We don't need to turn this into the one in the parable, buddy. Like, there's so many things that are like, oh, there's a silver lining to every cloud. This is like you got raped, and it's this weird, like, bro, if I have a feeling this makes that guy feel good, and he doesn't actually care about the family affected or the people or the victims in this scenario at all. This guy only wrote this framing for the argument to make himself feel awesome. You know what? I'm sure there's a movie about that somewhere that is just as real to you as what you're forcing people to go through. Watch that movie instead. Advocate for more movies to be made like that instead of forcing someone to potentially maybe have some kind of catharsis in the way that you frame it for them after this terrible tragedy that I feel they're better equipped to make it through than you freaking weirdo.
Now hold on, you're pitching them as weirdos. I threw around the term religious radical. We're implying that they don't have the expertise or the life experience or the capacity for empathy to speak with authority on this topic. But maybe I'm wrong. Republican Senator Bill Eigel, who's the guy we talked about earlier this week, who set fire with a flamethrower to a bunch of empty boxes as some sort of political stunt. It's very weird. He said this, the proposed amendment, we can't have it because it would bring back the institution of abortion so that kids could get abortions. Quote, a 1-year-old could get an abortion under
Love
this.
it.
That is
Love
what
it.
A full-grown man said. Now, you might be thinking, wait a second, I don't think a 1-year-old could get pregnant to need an abortion. And you'd be right. But I would add, if somehow a 1-year-old did get pregnant, dear God, let them have the abortion that they need to survive. So these are the sorts of men, and they're 9 times out of 10 men, who are deciding what rights other people have to what happens to their body. A guy who thinks a 1-year-old can get pregnant. And somehow
honestly,
not our
John,
person of the week. What?
If a 1-year-old gets pregnant, I think that is the child of God. So we need to bring that just to see what happens.
God, we have full-grown men with the brains of 1-year-olds talking about them. For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.